Somewhere in the internet, I read some time back that people who cannot really afford a Leica go for the FujiFilm X100. And I was telling myself that probably I've not heard a bigger lie than that. Ever since this camera came out way back in 2010, the X100 always had serious fan following. To an extent that the X100, all the iterations are now a collectible. In fact, I know a bunch of guys who have collected almost all. The 100, then was the S, then the T, the F, V, and then they stopped following an alphabet. Here it is the 6. Well, this is heavily back-ordered. So I'm not complaining that we received it a little late, to try and test out when the entire world of reviewers have already done it. Well, I've always maintained that Fuji probably is the only brand who makes purpose-built cameras. There is one set which is meant for a beginner, an amateur, then for someone who's a prosumer, then a professional, then you have those commercial photographers and really demanding guys. For everyone, there is one camera. And the interesting thing is that none of them compromises on quality. Well, those who wants to go in real stealth mode, this is one camera. If you stick this on anybody's face, for that matter, nobody's going to really take you very seriously, but you're going to be benefited. You're going to capture, you're going to come back with 40 megapixel, absolutely stable, crisp, clear images. A 23mm lens, which is equivalent to 35mm, is the go-to lens for almost all candid photographers. Classic photographers, they all preferred a 35mm on their full frame cameras. So this is like having a full frame camera with a 35mm lens. This also has a 6-stop IBIS. And more than IBIS, what I really enjoyed is the leaf shutter that this has. Together, if you're shooting with a manual shutter mode, well, the vibration is kind of minimized to a great extent. In fact, a couple of weeks back in a wedding photographers gathering, I was trying to convince them to try and use this for wedding photography. For all those people who were shooting candid stuff, I thought this was probably the best camera out there. The reason being that you can actually go into, if you pick up the black body, you can actually go into the crowd and shoot without disturbing them. And they won't really think that you are intruding into their space, because this looks pretty harmless in that, that sense of the term. I don't need to say this again, but let me, at the risk of repeating, let me say that this has a 40 megapixel X-Trans 5 CMOS sensor, and also has an X processor 5, which has AI and HEIF and the works. Together gives you an amazing picture quality. Well, what more do you need in such a small form factor? I personally love this for its design. I love this for its function. And in case if you feel like you need a little wider, coverage, well, you can use this converter, wide angle converter. This will convert this camera to a 28mm equivalent. And of course, if you want to go a little tele, this guy will convert it into a 50mm full frame equivalent. Without losing light. That's the most interesting thing. You can still get the f2 opening. Let me tell you what I really enjoyed in it. Of course, the hybrid viewfinder. It's been the most interesting thing for me ever since I started working with the F. F was the first one I used. I used the S, I used the V. I, in fact, even reviewed the V. The hybrid viewfinder, well, use this lever to toggle between your optical viewfinder and your electronic viewfinder. And what I really enjoyed working outside is the sports finder. So you can actually anticipate when, if you are, well, these days, of course, I've seen a lot of people using, or shooting rather, using LCD. Nothing wrong with it. So you know exactly who's moving and who's going where. But, well, if you are shooting it in the old-fashioned way, the sports finder is definitely something you must try if you have not tried. I enjoyed it. And like in many of the viewfinders, if you are working in EVF mode, well, you can also set the camera to give you a brief preview of what you have shot. It's something you can switch off to if you don't want it. Well, how can I not talk about film simulations when we talk about FujiFilm cameras? In fact, that's something which really sets apart a FujiFilm camera from the rest. You can actually shoot a RAW plus fine JPEG with the simulation that you want, and you can be rest assured that you are safe. Well, for this shoot, we shot classic chrome because, I wanted to kind of give you that street kind of a feel, and also black and white using across. All are absolutely, brilliant. I mean, straight off the camera, you can start using it. And if you don't like it, if you still want to make some fine tuning, you always have the RAW. That too, a 40 megapixel RAW with some amazing dynamic range. And of course, you have a 6 stops IBIS and a leaf shutter to save the day for you. So at some places, actually I shot because I wanted lots of details and I don't want to go high up in the ISO. I actually shot at half second handheld and take a look at this image and you see the details. 40 megapixel, which is much more than what you actually will require. Well, I can actually go on and on and on about this camera, but I need to somewhere draw a line and end this video. But let me sum it up for you. Well, everybody, without an exception, I can say is going to really love this classic design. Well, the camera has become a little bigger than its earlier version, the V. It's built to last. I mean, this is weatherproof, 40 megapixel, the latest generation of sensor and processor with all its AI capabilities and subject sensing capabilities, an amazing lens which Fuji is known for. Excellent LCD, amazing EVF, OVF, hybrid finder, whatever way that you want to use it, shoots 6.2K at 30 internally at 422 10-bit, amazing. Well, what else do you need to just go and pick this camera? Well, you can't just do that because it's heavily back-ordered. You need to be really lucky to get one. In fact, now they have a limited special edition. In fact, they are running a raffle in India to distribute whatever little they have got in stock in India. Well, amazing camera. We truly, really like this. Let me tell you, I have actually not gone out and bought a camera for a very long time because we keep getting cameras here, we use it, we return it. So I never had the urge to buy one. But I will not mind paying for an X100VI. What do you think? Please let us know in the comments. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye for now.